Hi everybody, today we have an Asus ZenPad 3S10. I'm taking out the screws on the bottom here. We're going to replace the charge port on this. If you look here on this video, you can see that the pins are bent up pretty badly in there. So we're going to pull that charge port out and replace it with a new one. So let's see. Here we're just going to go ahead and open the tablet on up. I'm going to fast forward through this part because I mean it's a pretty straightforward process. It's just get in there and open it on up. Okay, so here we're taking out the PCB on the bottom of this tablet that has the charge port connected to it. And then again we're just going to fast forward. We're going to take all these cables off, undo these screws, and get to the part we want, which is this. Alright, so I'm using some a little clamp here. I've already taped these sides with Captain tape, and now I am applying flux to the bottom and then to the top. Anywhere where I can see some solder joints, I'm going to go ahead and apply flux. I'm putting it in the little hole there, and we're going to go ahead and put the video in real time and see exactly how long it took me to do this. It probably took a little bit longer than it should have, and I'll explain what's going on while this is going on. I had my air set for 380 degrees Celsius, and I believe I had it on I think I had it on 95 or maybe 100 liters per minute on the airflow. And I'm using a quick 861 DW hot air station, and here I am just heating up the bottom of the port and just moving the heat all around there. This actually takes a couple of minutes in this video, so if you would like to fast forward through this part or just skip ahead a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. But here I'm just applying the heat, and I'm using the tweezers just to gently try and pick up on the port, because I just want to do it gently. I want to make sure it just falls off. You never want to pry on any kind of charge port or any kind of port, period, HDMI port. You never want to pry on it, because if you do, you can end up ripping pads, and it can cause some big issues, especially on a USB-C port like this, where the pins are actually underneath the port. If you rip those pads, it can be a lot of not fun running new traces and all that jazz. So always take your time and let the port fall off. Lead-free solder does take quite a bit of heat to get off, so just be patient, and you'll get it. Right here, I'm noticing that it is taking a while. Right here, I'm getting a lot closer. I'm getting a lot closer to the board because the port hasn't come off yet, and there it goes. So before I was a little bit further away from the board, and it caused it to not come off as fast as it should have. So I just moved in a little bit closer, and then it came right off. Here I'm applying flux, because what I'm going to do next is add leaded solder. I'm not going to clean the pads like I did in my last video that I did on this type of tablet. I'm not going to clean the holes. All I'm going to do is add leaded solder to the pads, to the holes, and I'm going to put a new port on. That being said, the new port that I did put on, I didn't do it in this video, but I turned I turned the port on the bottom and I grabbed a little file and I roughed up the pins. I just scratched them a little bit, and I just did that so they would accept solder a little bit better. Because I can't go behind this and touch it up with the iron because the pins are underneath the port. So roughing those up a little bit. Anyways, in my mind, it tells me that it's gonna grab a little bit better. So here, like I said, I'm just adding some leaded solder. What I was doing a minute ago was looking for my solder. I just couldn't find it. So I'm just using a pretty big iron there. You don't have to use anything small. You don't have to use a micro pencil or anything like that. Just an iron that can add some solder to those pads. There I just added some more flux, and here I am getting ready to go ahead and add the new port. So I am heating up this PCB from the bottom again. I don't remember if I changed my temperatures or not. Sometimes I will go down to about 340 degrees Celsius once I add the leaded solder. I don't always do that. It really doesn't matter. Just as if you feel comfortable with your station, I mean, you can do this at various temperatures. So here we go. Put in the new port, just kind of sitting it where it should just fall in place, and then whoa, there it went. So it just flew off, of course. But we'll just grab that and put it back on there. And then what we'll do here is we'll just kind of sit it in place a little bit better, and then just try not to put the air and heat directly under the port where it's just going to fly off. I'm just trying to make sure I'm heating up the PCB, so we can kind of see that it's melting there, and you can see it's kind of getting into place there. So it's actually melted and in place there, but I just give it a little bit of extra and a couple taps on the top. It's not going to hurt it, just to make sure that it's on there just like it's supposed to be. Here I'm just reassembling it, just putting it back on. I actually already ran it through the ultrasonic sync. If you don't have an ultrasonic sync, just use a Q-tip and alcohol.
Alright, so the charge port has been replaced on your tablet. I have the USB-C cable here. This is your old charge port. If you see here, we're getting about 0.47 amps. Now we're getting about almost 1 amp right there in the blue. It should go up to about 2 amps after it finishes communicating on how it wants to charge. Yeah, so that's successful port repair.
And I just muted out a couple things here, nothing important.
Alright, and there is the 1.97. We'll call that 2 amps. And we'll press the button here. Still charging. Let's see if it'll turn on.
And we'll fast forward just a little bit here and see that it does turn on, and it is taking a nice charge, even though we can tell from the amperage on the screen there.
Okay, so charging, it's at 1%. Obviously, it's been dead.
So this was Fred Bravo with Alpha Bravo Tech. If you have anything that you need repaired like this in the future, get on my Facebook and send me a message. Facebook.com/Alpha Bravo Tech. Thank you for watching, and you all have a great day. Bye.